Good evening, I'm Mr. Michael and you're watching Kini News, the show that brings you today's biggest stories. The golden question on the minds of every Malaysian: will the MCO be extended? We finally have an answer. The movement control order would be extended for another 2 weeks until April 28th.
Kerajaan hari ini memutuskan untuk melanjutkan pelaksanaan Perintah Kawalan Pergerakan untuk tempoh 2 minggu lagi, iaitu daripada 15 April sehingga 28 April 2020. 15 April sehingga 28 April 2020. Lanjutan tempoh ini dibuat untuk memberi ruang kepada petugas-petugas kesihatan memerangi penularan COVID-19.
The announcement was made this evening by Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin after obtaining feedback from the Health Ministry on the COVID-19 situation in Malaysia. The MCO came into effect on March 18th to flatten the COVID-19 infection curve, but was later extended on April 14th. Several areas were also placed under a lockdown or enhanced MCO after recording a high number of cases. Muhyiddin also revealed that schools will remain closed until the government is confident that it is safe to resume.
Sementara itu, anak-anak kita perlu belajar di rumah. Dan saya telah minta Kementerian Pendidikan supaya melaksanakan inisiatif pembelajaran dari rumah ataupun home-based learning sepanjang tempoh kawalan pergerakan ini dan mungkin untuk tempoh yang seterusnya sehinggalah sekolah dibuka.
To help improve the country's economic situation due to the MCO, the Prime Minister revealed that selected sectors would be reopened in stages with strict health guidelines put in place. A special cabinet committee will be set up to identify the economic sectors which would be reopened gradually.
Saya ingin tegaskan bahawa pembukaan beberapa sektor yang terhad ini bukan bermaksud kita melonggarkan Perintah Kawalan Pergerakan. Perintah ini masih berkuat kuasa dan semua arahan yang dikeluarkan oleh pihak berkuasa mestilah dipatuhi.
Malaysia has once again reported more recoveries in a single day than new COVID-19 infections.
The number of recoveries from COVID-19 has surpassed new infections for a third straight day, with 220 new recoveries compared to 180 new infections. Health Ministry Director General Noor Hisham Abdullah said in total recoveries are at 1,830 or 43%. Total cases are at 4,346. 3 more fatalities reported with cumulative number of deaths now at 70. Meanwhile, Noor Hisham said the Movement Control Order MCO has helped slow down the spread of the COVID-19 virus. This can be seen in the trend of COVID-19 cases and the trajectory which was projected through the Health Ministry's research. In terms of infectivity rate, MOH predicted the current R0 at 3.55% is expected to go down to 0.09% by April 14th.
So what we intend and we advise the Prime Minister is to extend another 2 weeks of the MCO. By extending the 2 weeks of MCO, it gives us more time to put our action, our activities, and to make sure that we can contain and we can actually break the chain of infection, meaning to bring down the R not further down than 0.9. So if that's the case, we are on the right track.
Earlier, Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin was confident that if recoveries continue to exceed new infections within the next 2 weeks, then the spread of the virus can be contained.
With the MCO extended for another 2 weeks, how will the government improve compliance of the order? Perhaps with harsher penalties, that could be achieved. The government is considering whether to raise the fine and jail sentence imposed on those who breach the movement control order. During a press conference today, Defence Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob compared Malaysia's 1,000 ringgit compound on violators to the far higher fines imposed by governments in Singapore, South Korea and Indonesia.
Cuma Malaysia masih setakat ini masih lagi 1,000. Mungkin kita nak minta mungkin pihak Kementerian Kesihatan berbincang dengan pihak peguam negara, mungkin kalau perlu mungkin kita boleh naikkan lagi denda ataupun compound yang boleh dikenakan. Dari segi penjara pun mungkin boleh ditambah dan sebagainya.
Ismail earlier shared that compliance to the MCO was at 97% as of April 9th. Yesterday, police arrested 666 individuals for violating the MCO, of which 392 were fined 1,000 ringgit. Police remanded 263 people, while 11 have been placed on police bail. A total of 7,479 people have been arrested for MCO violations since the MCO began. A news report today suggested that army personnel were forced to wear their combat helmets because residents of the enhanced MCO sites in Masjid India were throwing things at them in protest. However, this has been denied by the armed forces.
The armed forces have denied that soldiers were forced to wear helmets instead of berets after residents placed under total lockdown rained projectiles on them. Chief General Effendi Buang said to Bernama there were no incidents of plastic bags filled with urine being thrown at the soldiers by the affected foreigners and migrant workers. He said the armed forces only wear helmets in places under the Enhanced Movement Control Order. Earlier, Sinar Harian reported the incidents took place at 3 buildings in Kuala Lumpur under the Enhanced MCO, Menara One City, Selangor Mansion and Malayan Mansion. All 3 buildings have high concentrations of foreigners. Quoting an unnamed source, the report said the projectiles included rubbish and sometimes plastic bags with urine, possibly as a sign of protest by the occupants over their inability to obtain food. The issue of feeding the Masjid India residents under lockdown became an issue after Defence Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob said foreign missions were responsible for providing aid to migrants, including those under enhanced MCO. Meanwhile, Federal Territory Minister Anwar Musa and Kuala Lumpur Mayor Nur Hisham A. Dahlan pledged that food will be provided for the residents in both buildings.
A video of a polluted river in Perak has caught the attention of a minister. Environment Minister Tuan Ibrahim Tuan Man has instructed the Perak Department of Environment to take immediate action after an unknown individual highlighted horrific pollution of a river in Jelapang, Perak. The short video clip recorded by the individual, which showed the condition of the polluted river, was shared by the minister on his Facebook page. The person in the video can be heard describing the river's condition.
Habis sepanjang sungai nampak warna putih. Kadang-kadang warna putih, kadang-kadang warna hijau, kadang-kadang warna kuning, kadang-kadang warna biru. Nampak?
According to the man, this is not the first time that the river has been polluted. He said the pollution has been an ongoing issue for years.
Saya harap kementerian apa ni yang berkenaan bolehlah ambil tindakan pada pengusaha kilang ni. Bagi saya dah melampau sangat dah kehidupan yang hidup kat sini pun habis semua mati. Nampak?
The first batch of the pre-health and cash aid has been credited into the bank accounts of eligible recipients on April 1st. However, the money hasn't reached the folks in the rural town of Sungai Asap in Sarawak. With the MCO in place and ATMs dozens of kilometers away, these folks are left with limited choices. 50-year-old Alfian Tua lives in Rumah Panjang Nyawing in Sungai Asap, a town with a population of 25,000 in Sarawak. However, the closest ATM machine from Sungai Asap is 85 kilometers away in the Belaga town. A car ride there takes 3 hours because of bad road conditions. Often, villagers prefer to travel 5 hours by car or 160 kilometers to Bintulu, not only to withdraw money but also to shop for daily supplies and run errands.
Tambang kalau dari Sungai Asap ke Bintulu RM35 seorang. Maksudnya RM70 lah pergi dan balik. Kalau pergi ke Pekan Belaga pula, sama juga. Kita menggunakan hikmat transport lah untuk pergi ke Belaga, ke Sungai Asap. RM50 lah pergi dan balik. 25 pergi, 25 balik.
Kawasan Belaga ni, daerah Belaga ni dia 19,000 km persegi. Keluasan itu bersamaan ataupun lebih besar sedikit daripada negeri Johor. Dia ada satu mesin. Jadi mesin tu ada di Pekan Belaga dan ada yang kena travel ataupun pakai motosikal, pakai kereta, apa-apa transport, pakai perahu. Dia datang 3-4 jam dari Ulu untuk pergi tengok mesin tu saja. Tapi sampai sana itu mesin pun sudah out of service lah apalah. Itu yang the big problem sekarang lah.
With the MCO in place, Sungai Asap folks haven't been able to go to Belaga or Bintulu as frequently as they'd want. Their only option now is to withdraw cash through a sundry goods shop, which operates a debit card vendor machine. And that comes with an expensive 8% service charge.
Itu pun kadang-kadang dia tak menentu lah. Kadang-kadang dia 10%. Tak tahulah macam mana dia menilai orang ini yang boleh dicela RM8.
Jadi duit tersebut tak ada artinya. Sebab pergi tambang, pergi dan balik, makan minum, beli barang keperluan sedikit, ya sudah habis. Seandainya kerajaan benar-benar nak membantu masyarakat di Sungai Asap ini, mereka harus menyediakan sebuah mesin ATM tak kira dari bank manapun.
However, most of the time, the system does not work, and the post office also runs out of cash quickly. Tam Sinhao reporting for KiniTV. Coming up next, with over 16,000 deaths, Americans have been asked to be cautious. Meanwhile, millions will be pushed into poverty due to the COVID-19 crisis. This story is brought to you by Blue Air. Americans have been reminded to continue practicing social distancing as the death toll grows. State government and public health leaders have warned Americans to resist the impulse to ease social separation measures at the first glimpse of progress as the US death toll surpassed 16,500. Calls for heightened vigilance countering talk from the Trump administration of reopening the economy next month came as new evidence emerged that stay-at-home restrictions were working to flatten the curve of infections in New York State, the US epicenter of the pandemic. The number of newly hospitalized patients in New York dropped for a second day to 200. Governor Andrew Cuomo said it was a sign that social distancing was succeeding, even though the number of coronavirus-related deaths in the state rose by 799 on Wednesday, a record high for a third day.
But you're talking about 799 lives, the highest number ever. It's gotten to the point, frankly, that we're going to bring in additional funeral directors to deal with the number of people who have passed. If you ever told me that as governor I would have to take these actions, I couldn't even contemplate where we are now.
Apparent progress in efforts to slow the spread of the highly contagious virus were also reflected in fresh computer models, scaling back the projected nationwide death toll to 60,000, down from earlier forecasts of at least 100,000. New York State has now recorded more than 7,000 deaths from COVID-19, the respiratory disease caused by the coronavirus.
And don't underestimate this virus. I think that is a mistake we made from day one. We as the collective we as the global community. This virus is very, very good at what it does. We lost more lives yesterday than we have to date.
Cuomo likened the COVID-19 crisis to the September 11 attacks, which killed almost 3,000 people, most of them at Manhattan's World Trade Center, calling the current emergency a, quote, silent explosion that just ripples through society with the same randomness and same evil. Meanwhile, some 450 inmates and staff have tested positive for the coronavirus at Chicago's largest jail. County corrections officials said on Thursday, representing one of the nation's largest outbreaks at a single site so far in the pandemic. The surge of cases at Cook County Jail marks the largest flare-up of COVID-19 at jails and prisons in major cities across the United States, where detainees often live in close quarters. And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'll see you again next week, same time, same place. I'm Prasad Michael. Thank you for watching.